you have felt it. Delivered into the backrooms. On your first night. The twisting in your guts when you close your eyes from exhaustion. Desperately staving off the need to sleep, and not knowing what awaits you in the darkness. That feeling of being exposed. Vulnerable. Reeking of panic. We all have felt it. We all have felt the tight knots in our stomachs, laying shivering in the dark, knowing that we may never open our eyes again once the fatigue consumes us and we succumb to unconsciousness in a hostile, dangerous space. Alone in the back rooms, in this endless, misunderstood reality. There are so many things that go bump in the night. Smilers, clumps, the gestalt, living nightmares given corporal form. Things that would submit you to agonies you cannot even fathom. States of hell between living and dying, punishments for sin that you know all too well you deserve, entities which squirm inside you, beasts which rend you limb from limb, spirits which possess your mind and make you commit atrocities to your fellow comrades. You have felt fear for them all, crying out like frightened children, screaming, "Just don't kill me too," as you watch your friends die one after another. But I tell you now, there is something worse festering within this place. Worse than those fates which would cleanse us of sin and submit us to that hell between life and death. Something you should be fearing more than any smiler, more than any gestalt worm, more than any living nightmare. Nightmares can be woken from, but this danger is no dream. A terrible force assembles within the confines of the backroom's limb space system. You have walked among them, blind to their transgression, blind to their trespasses and crimes, aloof to their sweetly disguised misdeeds, a poisonous root, growing ever deeper and corrupting all that it touches, one which grows ever stronger each passing day. I speak of the UNCB. We have been delivered from our earthly domain to teach us humility, to remind us of our humanity, to wipe the slate clean, to live at peace with our true selves, away from sin, away from the sick effrontery of our misguided societies, so deeply drenched in transgression. And what do the united sinners and colonies of the backrooms do in the heart of this untouched godly realm? They revert to the old ways, the broken ways, the mortal folly of sin, of greed, of hubris and enslavement of their fellow man. Nothing but idle hands put to work creating empires of debauchery, empires that must be toppled, weeded without mercy nor hesitation. Retribution unending against the forces of evil and corruption, so that when there are no more coalitions, masters of money, leaders and followers, sinful men delivering comrades to their deaths, or empires of poison, there will be only one thing left: brotherhood. They would have you believe in flocks, and believe in those who tend them. For there are serpents in the garden, waiting to strike from the shadows. And they would have you believe in shepherds to protect from the serpents, and corral you into pens of terrified sheep. The shepherd wants his sheep to remain meek, so they cannot protect themselves from the serpents, so that the flock, enslaved, feels as though the shepherd has saved them from the harsh realities of life, protected them from the suffering of standing on your own 2 feet. The shepherd has shown mercy to face these dangers for you. Let me protect you, my flock, for there are dangers too great to bear. I ask, what has the shepherd done for you, other than stolen your dignity, your freedom, entrapped you in fear and shown you the easy, meek way of living on your knees, forever indebted to them for their mercy and protection, never thinking for yourself, but always of the serpents and the shadows. This is the empire of enslavement that the shepherds have created. You fear not that you have never lived, but only that you may soon die. And in so doing, you willingly give up the only thing that makes us uniquely human, the one thing that separates us from the beasts, our divine freedom, our right to live as free-thinking men and direct our lives with holy purpose, to shed your fear in light of eternal brotherhood, to stare the serpents down and slay them, without lords or masters demanding you to cower at their feet. I would see wolves where sheep once stood, for when a wolf shepherds sheep, the flock is not enslaved. When wolves join in brotherhood with wolves, then all are free. The pack looks after its own, and respects its own, and can kill any serpent that dares slither its sinful, transgressive head near its own. In demanding your freedom back, you'll stand on equal terms with the shepherd, no longer a part of his flock, and he will not see you for the wolf that you are, but see a serpent in you, and will turn all against you, for free-thinking men are what the masters fear most. The Brotherhood understands this deeply, that evil is cunning, deceptive, and without clemency, so we must be the same. Wear the sheep's clothing, walk among the flock, and quietly teach the lessons of Volkov to our fellow brothers. Quietly, we will spread his truth to all who have been subjugated to the Empire and crushed beneath the boots of the shepherd, to teach the meaning of divine freedom and allow us to be men once again and walk freely through this Eden of the Backrooms, without serpents and without masters. All are brothers within the Backrooms, but most sleep under the watch of lords and masters. To be trusted into the pack, every wolf must show their worth, just as betrayers and sympathizers to the old ways must be weeded out. The Brothers' Covenant is what holds us together, a sacred bond that we all share, delivered unto us through initiation rites and the 8 steps of the divine lifestyle. Awaking from the sleep of subordination is never easy. For the lucky few who come into the fold of the Brotherhood upon their first days, it is less of a trial, but for most, the journey will be harrowing. To join the pack, a wolf must prove their worth. Anoint your loyalty in the blood of the shepherds, and you shall be let into the fold of brothers. For blood is the strongest of pacts, and represents the debts of life. If your kill is witnessed before a lambda, and recognized as a rite of initiation, then your enslavement to the masters will be broken, your life renewed. There is plenty of sin to feed the pack, and always strength in numbers. Those with holy virtue shine even in the darkest shadows. If the Brotherhood is drawn to your light, and your bonds are proven through kinship, a lambda may invite you to partake in a rite of initiation, a binding bond of trust. Through prosecution are we tested, and through Brotherhood do we prevail. If you save the life of one within the fold, then the fold shall be open to you as well. As blood taken proves dedication, blood liberated proves you an ally to the Brotherhood. May your rights be taken solemnly and deliver you into the path of the devout. The cross stands proud upon 8 points, 8 foundations, 8 pillars of strength. A wolf shall embody these 8 obligations, 8 aspirations, for only the worthy shall walk the garden as free men. Worthy are the independent who act righteously without instruction. Worthy are those which mourn, who understand the pain our brothers carry. Worthy are the humble, whose shoulders carry the weight. Worthy are those with unshakable ideals, who will never accept enslavement. Worthy are the merciful, who spare those deserving another chance. Worthy are the silent, who betray not their brothers. Worthy are the peacemakers, who know Eden must be shared with others. And worthy are those who are persecuted, for in the conflict of serpents are we tested. Rites of initiation vary between lambda, however, the bonds are for life. One who casts away their bonds betrays the pack. The pack does not show mercy for deceivers. Study these virtues well, brother. Deliver yourself to divine freedom. He who walks without sin and without fear. Volkov knows the Backrooms as the Eden it was meant to be. In his wake do entities cower and recede. Around him do bones mend and scars heal. This is the power within the garden we all can access, proven through his miracles. From his teachings do we all stand equal. From his blessings do we fear no hunger, entity, or prison. Volkov can kill with a word, and even raise the dead if he so wished it. He has ascended the old ways, placing faith solely in the Garden of Lim. Through this same devotion can we all ascend to our true humanity. Volkov was delivered into the Backrooms long, long ago. He was among the vestiges of humanity's first foothold. He helped us rise, he watched us fall, and he saw corruption tear our brothers apart time and time again. In the wake of the UNCB did Volkov know it was time for Brotherhood. He would not watch idly as this new era of mankind followed in the same foolish footsteps as before. He gathered his first followers, his dedicated vicars, his chosen lambdas, those who teach and those who demonstrate. We will deliver a message of hope to those who wish to hear it, and a warning to those who do not. And so, it was Volkov who set ablaze the first fires in level 7, alighting the darkness with the flesh of the shepherds, putting to the flame slave masters and declaring for the first time a brotherhood of free men. It was Volkov who freed the bondsmen of the sunken city and brought them into the fold. It was Volkov whose dedication did split a sea of entities and allowed safe passage through Eden. After centuries of death, Volkov vowed to show us true life. He lives to this day. He will not stop until all brothers are free. He will not stop until all humans may walk without fear or repression, and needs only one thing in return: dedication to your fellow man, and dedication to him. In doing so, Volkov and the Brotherhood will invoke within you the following orthodox rights of mankind. Volkov has taught us the truth, that the entirety of the Backrooms belong to the Brotherhood, for we are children within the garden, and the garden is paradise. However, the lords of the UNCB and other shepherds would have you believe that limb space can be bought, fenced, owned, declared the property of one man or a group of men. Volkov has declared war on ownership and enslavement and this old way of thinking. It encourages his brothers to subvert these plots and infiltrate these lands and zones and take root within them. The Brotherhood initiative is to corrupt the system of corruption and take back the garden from these spreaders of evil. All of limb space is yours, as it is to be shared with every man. There are no blights upon this world in which you cannot go. There are no zones of sacred origin in which you cannot trespass. Populate these areas and spread Volkov's message, and tear the shepherd's walls asunder from within. Volkov has taught us the truth, that the only way to defeat the old ways is through the brotherhood of mankind, without sin clouding your intentions or greed corrupting your actions. When any man reaches out to you for help or seeks shelter within your care, give them your aid. In this way will we bring others into the fold and build Eden around us through selflessness. What food you have, share, and both of you shall eat. What clothes you have, give, and both of you shall face the elements. We are given what we need from this realm and should not wish for easier passage, but only to be stronger men. And together through the shelter of the pack and the bonds of brotherhood will we all survive. Give selflessly, and when you are in need yourself, another will return the favor to you. Volkov has taught us the truth, that the paragon state of humankind is to become divine. With a word, Volkov can kill, and with a touch, can he cure. Through devotion to him and the practices of brotherhood will we learn to ascend as he has. Give yourself to his teachings, and praise Volkov for showing us the way. Walk upon his path and praise the miracles he has performed. Where there was unshakable darkness, Volkov brought light. Where there was sin, Volkov has taught us compassion. Where there was suffering, Volkov gave us brotherhood. Through dedication, we will attain ascension. Through the destruction of all who would declare themselves a shepherd, and through the abolishment of sin, will we collectively touch the divine. Such is Volkov's promise, and such is our love for him. May that love be as unending as our lives are in paradise. So, now you are initiated. You bear the mark of the Brotherhood. Together we are one. Welcome to the fold, and may you carry Volkov's grace with you close to your heart. What next? Your next steps should be obvious, brother.